Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and welcome to the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, July the 12th, 2015. First up, DCS news. Veo have announced that the DCS P-40F Kitty Hawk is now available for pre-order. The P-40F is a renowned World War II era fighter and operated in every theatre of the war and was in use by over 16 nations. In fact, the famed Tuskegee Airmen also flew P-40Fs prior to the Red Tail Squadron forming with the Mustangs, actually logging their first air-to-air kill in the Kitty Hawk. Early shots of this aircraft show an incredibly detailed model, and plugging this into the DCS world is a clear win for the World War II fighter fans out there, as this now gives us an additional US fighter to take on the two existing German fighters available. It's expected to release in September. Now Veo, if you're wondering where you've heard that name before, Veo are also working on the BAE Hawk for DCS, which is currently in beta. The pre-order for the Kitty Hawk will set you back $44.99, which is a discount of 10% off the final price of $49.99. Still in DCS world, Eagle Dynamics have started ramping up live streams on DCS World 2. As we hurtle towards the release of DCS World 2, they're doing more and more live streams, in particular Q&A sessions showing off the product and answering questions from the general community. Links to YouTube archives of the two most recent live streams, one was a Q&A, another was a joint flight in DCS World 2 between a UH-1 and a Black Shark, are in the show notes below. Next up, back over in FSX and Prepared, Milviz released the F4 Phantom II. Now the Phantom II was one of the most versatile fighters ever built. It was highly capable in both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles. The Phantom II also smashed a number of performance records, gathering no less than 16 of them for speed, altitude and time to climb. It was an aircraft that's capable of twice the speed of sound, and an early prototype even set the altitude record for the aircraft at 98,556 feet. That's incredible. The Milviz version has realistic startup and shutdown with full systems and avionics modeling. The flight dynamics, as is often the case now with Milviz aircraft, were defined by Bernd Stoll, who is rapidly becoming a legend in flight sim dynamics modeling. Highly detailed inside and out, even has a full sound set recorded from an actual F4. The FSX version or the prepared version will set you back $49.99. You can get both together though for $59.99, and if you decide to just get one and upgrade later on, then there's an upgrade path which will cost you $14.99 to buy the platform that you didn't originally get. Next up, FSim Studios reached out to me. They have released the Portland scenery covering Portland International Jetport. Now, Portland International Jetport is actually located in the heart of Portland, Maine, in the northeast of the United States, and the airport is actually the busiest in the state. Their scenery features highly detailed representation of Portland Jetport itself, high-resolution photo scenery of the airport and surrounding areas, and they do actually point out medium-resolution photo scenery of the suburbs of Portland, Maine. As always, has hand-placed Autogen, a highly detailed terminal with movable jetways, and a detailed FedEx distribution center, which is one of the key points of that airport in the real world. Also includes winter textures. Being in Portland, Maine, it's going to suffer some really harsh winters, so they have a custom set of textures for winter. Custom buildings all over the airport, static planes on the GA apron, volumetric grass, and so on and so on. Also even includes charts of the airport, which is very cool, for just €15.99 euros, and that will cover both FSX and Prepared at the Sim Market link in the show notes below. Next up, now this one's really interesting. FSFX Packages have released A320 Immersion. This is the latest in their product line, previous products being 777 Immersion and Precipit FX. A lot of people spoke to me about those products a while ago and said would I take a look at them, and I kind of discounted them as being gimmicky and really didn't take a look at them. And then I sat down with the guys from FSFX Packages at Flight SimCon and was completely blown away. I now own them all. What it does is it adds a bunch of ambient effects to the aircraft itself, in this case the entire Airbus family from Aerosoft, based on moisture. So you get multi-stage multi-stage engine condensation, multi-stage wing condensation, for example, water vortexes from the ground going into the engine, water and snow vortices on the wingtips upon rotation, volumetric navigation, beacon, strobe and logo lights under different visibility conditions such as fog and mist and so on. Also includes a new touchdown effect, new engine startup smoke under cold weather conditions, brake dust effect when retracting the landing gear, and on and on. It's really quite an incredible package. It's available right now. It covers both FSX and Prepared. It does of course require the Airbus from Aerosoft, and it will set you back $24. If you're into looking at the external views of your aircraft while you're flying or landing or replays, this is a product you actually probably do need to get. It's actually pretty cool. Next up, Glitter Gulch for X-Plane has been released. Now this adds most of the airports in the Las Vegas area, including McCarran International Airport, Henderson Executive Airport, Nellis Air Force Base, Boulder City Muni, and Grand Canyon West. More than that though, it even includes the Hoover Dam and the Tillman Bridge, as well as many key landmarks in Las Vegas, of which there are indeed many. Interestingly, when I hit Google and just Googled for Glitter Gulch, I actually saw a whole bunch of search results that you wouldn't want your boss to see on your computer, as Glitter Gulch is apparently a very famous strip joint in Las Vegas. That is not modelled in this package, despite the product's name. Glitter Gulch for X-Plane also includes animated traffic on the ground at Las Vegas, as well as autogates on concourses C, D, and E. It will set you back $24.95 from the xplane.org store. Finally, still in the world of X-Plane, SoundMax for X-Plane has been released by X-Aviation. Now this has been a long time coming and is a follow-on to Urban Max and SkyMax. It's a sound add-on, so I can't really show it in a news video. The video you're watching, however, is from the amazing Red Piper 1, showing off the product, and I strongly urge you to follow the video link in the show notes below and go check out this video and check out SoundMax. And if you're not following Red Piper on his channel and love X-Plane, you are missing out. Do subscribe. SoundMax adds over 300 megabytes of 44 kilohertz sound samples from aircraft, airports, nature, and weather, replacing the default ambient sounds that you hear in X-Plane, and making for a much more aurally immersive environment. It also replaces the default sounds for high and low bypass jets, props, turboprops, helicopters, and so on. Key to this though is the new sounds are actually much longer samples than the defaults included with X-Plane, which means they don't loop so often. It reduces the repetition that you're hearing through your headphones or your speakers. Even includes changes in cabin sounds for jetliners and bumps and rattles from turbulence. Perhaps most interestingly of all though, SkyMax 3 is currently in development. And when it's released, it will integrate with SoundMax to give you 3D positional sounds of thunderstorms, which is a big deal. It includes a full configuration panel to tweak exactly what you see in here as well, and will set you back $19.95 from the X-Aviation store in the show notes below. So that's it for this week's news. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm sure I've missed something. Do leave me a comment in the comment section below if I have, and I'll check it out and see whether I need to include it in next week's episode. See you soon.